Okay, we gotta wait 2 minutes for whatever reason. Islam, Islam, Islam. Yeah, life is good. Thank the Creator. We thank Allah. Life is good. We thank all of the prophets of every religion, every way. Mm-hmm. Law, LAW. So we're coming up on the 2 minutes that has to go by for whatever reason that YouTube does it. And here we go. Islam. So, huh? Have we been blessed as a people to have our own at this day and time, when most times it seems as if we do not? Are the people ready for self-responsibility and self-accountability? So, with no disrespect to anyone, I am down with fatherhood, motherhood, sisterhood, brotherhood. Those things that represent familyhood. In every hood, there's a brother, a sister, a cousin. There's a child, childhood. Down with childhood. Down with, because that's a status that was established long before you and I had anything to do with anything. That's law. That's law. And that's all that's being established is law. It's simple. Will we gravitate to what is, or we going to continue to keep finding confusion with each other? Are we going to keep arguing and fighting? Sometimes it seems like our people are behind like 100 years. And so a little history. 100 years ago, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he was telling us we wasn't African Americans, blacks, Ethiopians, Ray. And so today, when we look at the census, and it's on my page, if we look at the census, we see that blacks, African Americans, they're not considered original people. And this is a legal problem. I'm not an attorney, not trying to be an attorney. I am a Moorish citizen. I am Lieutenant Governor for the province of Connecticut for the United States of America Republic. And our job is to show our people who we are. And so beyond all the arguments, well, and wait, me myself, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a people's man. I'm not gonna be the one to say Moors didn't put us in slavery and help foster the where we are today. I'm not gonna say that. I'd be lying. I'd be ignorant. I'll tell you this: as far as law goes, the Moorish group is the only one who showed me true law. No one else showed me law. No one else told me law. No one else told me it's as simple as law. No one else asked me and said, well, how come they didn't teach us to read English using law books? Just they're there. It's the law. We all have to live by the law. We could have just stayed with the Constitution. Read that, study that. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Law. That wasn't done. Instead, we got stories. And these stories filtered our mind and gave us a condition that we live under. And this condition is with the Moorish American government, United States of America Republic. This is a Moorish American government. Moorish people, you are not Black and African American. You're a Moor. You're Moorish. You're a Moor. If you're Christian, Christians are Moriscos. Go back to 1492 and check your ancestry. See your people. The danger of or the absoluteness of that Black and African American, maybe it's a typo. Maybe they wanted to add that in there. I don't know. But it's been there for the past years that I've seen it. It's been there. It hasn't been changed at all. No one wants to change it. No one. So since no one wants to change it, and the definition says they're not original people, how are you a part of that system? How do you fit into that system? Where are you in that system when it is saying this is who you are? And if we don't start with that simple logic, then everything else falls apart. That's simple logic. That's real simple logic. And admittedly, in the hood, come on, you know, somebody disrespect you, took you out of place, wanted to make you less than a man, less than a woman. We know what that situation has been, what it has turned into. Maybe less today. But we know what that situation has turned into. We've seen it too many times. So now there's a day in this day and time, we're talking about governing ourselves as a people, all of us governing ourselves, because that's what it's about. And that's what the spirituality is about, right? Governance of self. And as Moors, this is our creed: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice for everyone. We are not our ancestors in that manner of we Moors, we're going to carry on in the manner that our ancestors did. It does not mean that. I can't see it. I won't be a part of it. We aren't out here to make war. No, we're going to work right alongside with whatever the United States does, as it does, and its citizens do, we're going to do, and we're going to do for us. That's the difference. We're going to do. We're going to make up what it is that we do. And it's like all hands on deck. We're asking everybody to be a part of it. We are. And to be government officials, you're going to have to, the more science, you're going to have to know about it. You're going to have to be about it. There's classes for that. There's open forum for that. Anything and everything. We're trying to answer to our people of where everything got messed up. And just as much as, oh, he said it, the Moors, yeah, everybody did. The Christians, if you study real history, they already knew about this place. Christopher Columbus didn't discover it in 1492. 1492 is when the Moors actually got beat in Spain. And that's when we fell apart. It had nothing to do with, the story, the way they told of Christopher Columbus. We got our butts kicked in Spain for the dirt our ancestors were doing. Not only to us, but to everybody. They were just doing dirt. They really took the big Willie, we the kings of the world, to the head and wanted to live that. And it was unnecessary. It's unnecessary now. It was unnecessary then. It's unnecessary now. Anybody who considers themselves in any type of position of power, you only get that power by the people. And that's a humble experience. That to be chosen, to be asked, to walk in, to be able to do. And you also got to realize in your stance, I earned it by the work that I did. Show and prove, right? So if we really want this world, if we really want to change in this world, if we're really asking questions about before we march in the streets again, we should have been at the table a long time ago discussing what the problem is with us and how we fix it. But at that table, you cannot be Black and African American. Other than that, that's a legal thing. You see what I'm saying? That's legal. That's in law. There's nothing. You talk about the Constitution. Well, part of the Constitution helped put that in place for you. Part of it, 14th, 15th Amendment. The census. It all ties together. They put that in there to trap us and to keep us in their system at a low economic level. Fill out the census, say Black, African American in the 30s, 40s, maybe the 20s too, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You got redlined. Your neighborhood got redlined. Your area and space got redlined. You was turned off. What's that? How we even deal with that? How we even understand that? You didn't get money. Your schools didn't get money. You didn't get money for sanitation. You didn't get money for school education. Well, nothing. House buying. We couldn't move into a certain neighborhood based on our melanin. We'd all be hung on the same tree together. I know that. I'm not a fool. But I don't want to just go out for nothing. I'd rather go out for all the marbles. And all the marbles is us returning back to our own government and governing ourselves in a divine and righteous manner, as prescribed through Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Oh, Allah made a beautiful day. Oh, Allah made a beautiful way. Do we dare as a people turn our backs and walk away from such a beautiful thing? From the ability to put us on the map? From the ability to be able to speak and talk with other countries? Neha, do we? Do we keep ourselves on the back burner when it's time to talk namaste? Do we keep ourselves on the back burner? Why? Why? Well, why more? Why Moorish? Why is everybody, all right, so in the Moorish world, Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the only one who told us what our real problem was. No other leader, I apologize. Nobody. Because our problem is in law. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali showed us law through the scriptures. All of them. Not one is left out. They all confirm that we as a people, our nations, our nationality is what matters. By us holding to that is what keeps us strong. By us holding that is what moves us forward. By us holding that and not holding that put us in the position that we are. And we did it for money. We did it out of greed. Every group, Israelites, Muslims, Christians, pagans, polytheists, whatever you want to name, every group sold out everyone. Don't let nobody trick you. And so, there's good people in every group, right? I know I'm a good Moor. There's good people in every group, and there's bad people. So just say Muslims or Christians, Israelites, Hebrew, just to say it like that is like too bland. Groups, people, the people in those groups who lead with their lower self. How we know they leading with their lower self? Because all of our books talk about the metals that they look, right? They like metals and money and stuff. We see, we know. we know. They really like things other than the creator. And they spend their time hawking after things other than that which the creator has given to everybody. What is wrong with us? What are we chasing? Man, this is sad, man. We know that, like, we see there allegedly the entertainment industry came together to take over hip-hop, to put our children in jail. Conspiracy. That's one conspiracy, right? Another conspiracy. Artists going into the hip-hop world get used, and then they don't own their products, and they got to fight back for their whatever products that they put in. They get robbed by managers and agents and this, that. We know all of that, right? But yet still we allow people to grow up and want to be in the industry. That don't make no sense to me. It never did, even in the 80s. Not because we have this technology. In the late 80s, promotions, I never understood why we trying to get in the industry. I never understood that drive to get in the industry. People was trying to get the money from them. All we got to do is make money. We putting our shows, just make them bigger, continue. But people wanted to get in the industry, taking shortcuts to get in the industry and going to different places to sign contracts to get in the industry. And so we don't know the power of ourselves. We listen to the news, don't we? Don't we listen to the news? And the news, Black people, African Americans spend trillions of dollars. Trillions? We spend trillions? We spend trillions? Maybe they said billions. Who cares? Billions. We spend it. Maybe if we check the record, we'll find out. Well, actually, there's that $1 billion of spending is in bills mainly. It's not in luxury spending. But it is in bills. They're paying bills, one bill after the other. But we spend it, but we don't turn it back into the community. See, so what type of government announcements is this? One, letting you know that we're here. Certain people are doing the jobs that need to be done for us to be fully recognized in the international community as a government. You know, it's not just like we're a government, yay. It can't be that. There's a law, there's a process, there's a real process to being a government. And at this point in time, we're working ours. But we need assistance. We need help. We need people to come in and help do the work. And we got plans. We need people to come in and help do the work. You know, it's a thing. It's a system. It's something that we do for ourselves. I was watching, I'm not watching, excuse me. So a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I read that like a lot of people quit work. They learn how to work from home, things of that nature. So that situation. However, if there's people out there still living in a situation where they're homeless, they're hungry, where's that coming from when the Creator gave us abundance? Homeless people with empty buildings. I bet, excuse me, I won't bet. I'm perceiving that we could take the homeless people, put them into some of these structures, and I don't mean 2 or 3. I do mean 1 in a structure. I don't care how big or small. Toilet, kitchen, bathroom, kitchen, living room area. Hey, 2 or 3 bedroom. Put a homeless, and if we house them that way, we would still have a lot of real estate left over, a lot of buildings and stuff that would still be empty. And take all the homeless people and put them in there, and you still have thousands of places where no one lives. Not a soul lives there. Somebody's just waiting to make money off it. They bought the property and cut it off from the community. And now they're waiting to sell it. They live 30 states away, but they're waiting to sell it. And there's people homeless a town over. This is the world we live in. We watch videos where animals are sick and they're cutting them up and sending them to our dinner tables. And there's vacant structures all over communities that are destroyed, dilapidated. That word. Yet and still, nice ground in the back. There's hungry people right outside. There's no gardens growing or anything. There's nothing. There's nothing. And those are things the people inside the community have to do. You can't look at the government and say, oh, they're not giving, they're not doing it. Right now, all of us, if we empty out our trash cans, I could probably show you 3 or 4 different things that had seeds in them that we could have grew in the backyards in order to No, I don't want to do that work. Nobody. That's a scary thing. Nobody. But we keep talking about war and stuff. What do we think is going to be left after the war? I'll deal with it on that day and time. If you don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to begin, if you don't have the will to begin, if you're waiting for somebody else to come and tell you, that's the whole idea of having a government before we get there. That's the whole idea. That's the real bottom line of having a government before we get there. Having a structure, a system that we're following, that's working for us, that we know we can count on. So when we get up from whatever it is, we can continue to live. They're locking up the warehouses. You can't get food. I choose not to push fear. I choose not to push fear because those things could happen. On the other hand, just the other week, the military and the police were playing together a few blocks away, and people were nervous. They're coming to lock us up. They're coming to lock us up. I was like, yo, chill, man. Just no, I don't know. Now I get the news today, they calmed down. They calmed down. So, I mean, in the whole time, the 2 weeks that it was going on, what else could have been planned, worked on, moved? What else could have happened that would have advanced where everybody's at today? Read that census. It says Blacks and African Americans are people who have origins in any of the peoples. Have origins. Everybody else has origins in the original people with land attached to it. We Moors are original people, and we got land attached to it. Guess where that land at? Guess where? Yeah, right here in North America. Right here in North America. That's where that land is attached. It's our land. Lack of work, lack of want, lack of understanding, not knowing. Not knowing, not understanding, not wanting to read, not wanting to know the truth. You know, all of that. All of that. Some people call it Stockholm syndrome. We all know what that means. If not, you can look it up. Mostly anything I said, you can look up. If you want to see the world backwards, 432 Drop Nation, 432 The Drop on YouTube, UBTV. Yeah. What is wrong with us? You know? So listen, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep coming up here. Right now, I'm putting in I'm putting in the comments a website. And you go on this website and read. That's a big thing with us Moors. We're always saying read, 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 read. READ, read. See, I can tell you my interpretation after I read it, but it's my interpretation. It might be on point, but it's mine. When you read it, you have your own knowledge. So now that light that's hitting you is hitting you from where you live. You get to arrange that truth the way you need to arrange that truth in your life. I'm not in charge. I don't have nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with your truth. unless the truth is like that census. If the truth is like that census, then you really need to check out what's going on. It might be more law type stuff that you need to, in order for you to confirm who you are, what side of life you gonna carry on. History already, well, they didn't really put it in the history books, did they? They just put 1492. Columbus comes from Spain. There's a short little thing in there about the Moors. Prior to that, there isn't any discussion of the Moors being in America, North America, Central, South America, all the islands. There's none of that. There's none of that. But they got them all throughout Europe. And if you go visit certain museums and stuff, if you just watch some more of these videos on YouTube, you'll be shocked. Moors carved in the granite and carved in different places. Moors carved in our lands. All law. All law. Allah. All law. See how it works? In order for us to be free, we must proclaim our nationalities. We must announce our creed and who we are as a people. A people who lead with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We seek to work alongside everyone. And when it comes to law, what is actually in law, and it's unfair. It is unfair to Blacks and African Americans. It is unfair. However, at the end of the day, it becomes a choice. It becomes a choice. And that's the part right there. That scares me. It's a choice that we are making to be or not to be a Black African American or any other name that is not a part of the original people. That cannot show through any historical documents that they are original people. They cannot show Blacks and African Americans. They can't. That's why they're not, by definition, original people, because they can't go to the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Circle 7. They can't go in there and show where they are. And if I thought that way, I couldn't do it either. I'm not original people. Why is it written that way? That's such a it's a mind-boggling. That's law, man. Law supposed to be for everybody, right? But if it wasn't meant for you in the first place, then why would it qualify you? Why would it make you what they don't want you to be? If a new day is coming, the new day is coming because we go to work. The new day is coming because the Moors. So to the Moors. The only thing that would surprise me is if a Moor did right. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Man, the petty bickering, it got to stop. It got to end today. It got to end today. The question is for all of us. Are we recognized by the United Nations? Are we recognized by the United Nations? Are we recognized by the United Nations? We got federal recognition. Okay, fine. Are we recognized by the United Nations? We recognized in our state. Fine. Are we recognized by the United Nations? Because that's where we're supposed to be recognized at in the world of men. Long live USAR in the world of men. And I'm not saying that USAR is yet recognized, but the the momentum. Where we want to go. How we working. We need people. In every province, you might know them as states. In every province, there is a governor. Mostly every state, mostly every province, there is a governor right now. And so whatever you listening, you hear this, you see this, whatever province you're in, you can, that website will start you on that road to finding out who the correct person is, who will get you in, make you an official of the government. It's nice to be in a world where, like, I know if I call DC, right, and say, I would like to speak to the president of the United States, there's going to be a long, I might as well make some tea and coffee and just wait. But when I call the president, C. Cannon Bay of the United States of America Republic, the phone get answered a couple of times, you know. But when I call, the phone get answered. You would like that too. Be able to call the president and have the president talk to you about what you plan on doing, how you want to move, what needs to happen next, how you're supposed to wear your nationality, how you're supposed to live your nationality. Yeah, so when it comes to whose side anybody on, I'm on the side of the family. The family is in every neighborhood, but the neighborhood hasn't been about fatherhood, motherhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, childhood. The hoods haven't been about that. We've been destroying that. Sickly, destroying it. My heart hurts behind the hood. And not because I lost my son, but because I lost my son, and it wasn't what he died for, whatever it was. Was it worth it? Man. And I don't grieve like that because prior to my son, buried so many in that way, and there's still parents going through. So I worked for the state. I worked for the state when they came in and told me, you got to send 10% of your population back to jail. Really? Why? That kind of scared me. You know, I have to send 10% of my population back to jail because we blacks and African Americans, and I was supposed to be a black African American and say, okay, take the money and send people back to jail who are out here trying to do things to feed their family in order to keep my job. That almost sounds like a bribe. But we aren't here to go against the United States government. We don't have to. All we got to do is be about ours. And if you ever studied anything about indigenous people and they always said you have to live up to your customs and your customs and your traditions. Your customs and traditions. Your custom. What are your customs and traditions? As far as we go in the hood, is that our tradition? I know it's not. I know it's not our tradition. And I know you know. I know that's what you look. I don't care what nobody say, right? Every man, especially after a hard day work, all we want to do is go home and eat some good food, be able to stretch out, Maybe if the game on TV, I want to watch the game, I want to relax, I just want to chill. And I'm not saying a woman any different. You know, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I'm a man. I can only speak from what men want. We're gonna eat, we can get real comfortable, clean, comfortable. We're gonna chill out. That's what we want to do. I know nobody wants to be out there doing what they do. I know you don't. I know if you had a real choice, you wouldn't. And wait, I'm not saying you wouldn't be out there. I'm saying it wouldn't be as dangerous out there. Why? Because everybody having fun, everybody getting that money, everybody just living. Everybody is praising the Creator. And we live within our nationality. That is the protection. That is it. It's not short any religion. We're not me myself personally. I don't have an argument with any Muslim, any Israelite Hebrew, any Christian, Morisco. I don't have an argument with any of you about your scriptures, anything about your prophets. That's what you said. I don't have anything to say about it. That's barely what I'm talking to you about. I'm talking to you about that census. Back to the census. I'm going to keep saying that until I know people are reading it, until you see those words with your own eyes. And then maybe you come up with an answer for it. Maybe you'll say something to me that, like, you know, it doesn't make a difference. It don't. If that didn't make a difference, why? What's this about anti-Asian hate or something? And they put money into describing anti-Asian hate. Then we got something else. And then we got a week or a month or a year of music and festivals from another community. And I'm not speaking against, I enjoy it. Yo hablo español, poquito is Spanglish. I have nothing against them. I have many friends, different nationalities. But I'm noticing every group gets theirs except you and I. And I also notice when those groups get theirs, they are nationalities, they are nations. They signed on as a nation. They're represented as a nation. They are not represented as a group of people. That's what I noticed about reparations. Everybody is a nation who got reparations. They are not single individuals just because Ray. No. And I stand on ground today. I heard the reason why they won't give it. I'll spin it on them in 2 seconds. I'll spin it on them in 2 seconds. I'm waiting for the opportunity. I'll spin it on them in 2 seconds. Huh? But you and I, we got to be down for the move. See, the Creator is leaving things where they are so more people catch up and catch on. Because once a certain point comes, I don't know, like, if they're going to keep allowing certain things to happen and try to be worked out. Eventually, and like maybe 2030 is that cutoff point. Maybe. We said we won't see it in our time. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. The Creator bless us. What, 7 years away, 8 years away? You didn't think you lived to be the age you are now. What 8 years gonna do? Fly. 2035 before we wake up. $2035. Man, I'll be like 65. New day. All these old heads up here talking about it. Well, hopefully you don't hear me speaking like everybody else. Not knocking anybody and what they're doing. I really don't know how to knock people in what they're doing unless you're trying to shove it down my throat. I don't know how to knock what you're doing because it's working for you. I don't want you not, it's working for me. But if we can find a common ground of something that is holding us back, how don't we come together and handle that? How come we don't examine the real things we need to examine? We could sit there. If they put out the news, somebody's what they call a devil worshiper. Oh, that'd get 1,000 views and likes and subscribes and everything else. And then this one had her panties off and that one. We listen to all that kind of stuff. And I'm somebody to talk. I had F's in school. I was having fun. I had F's. I'm somebody to talk, huh? Not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But they kept teaching the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? Once I learned how to read, and then at home, the stuff I was reading, when I had to read this, like remember of Mice and Men? I burned through that book. I read that book so fast, I forgot what I read. And so I didn't write the paper out right that was supposed to go with it. The only thing I remember was Lenny squished the mouse. We read of Mice and Men. The Red Badge of Courage. I don't even remember the story. I remember the story, but I don't remember the story. You understand what I'm saying? It's a story about war. After that, what happened? Read that. Any book they gave me. Ripped it. History book. So you go into school, they give you the books, they give you a history book. Never the math book, the history book. I didn't want math. I take that history book. I done read 3 months ago what the teacher wants to read today. Okay, class, now today. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I was bored. I done already read it. You gave me the book. I'm gonna read it. I'm watching football. I'm reading. I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. Got some food inside me. I'm reading. Sometimes while I'm eating, I'm reading. I'm reading. I walk into a facility, walk up to a facility. I see letters. I read everything. Some often now, I'm 56. I might miss a couple of things, but I don't miss anything. I haven't missed anything that's been detrimental. Let's put it like that. Read everything. That website, read everything. Don't read a little bit. Read everything. That's the only way. It's there for us. It's a fair place to start. And then based on you starting there, reading that, okay, yeah, we're not, according to this, like, so why do they even have it? Why is it even up there if they're not original people when we know that outside of that term, they are original people? Then why is that there to represent? Why? It doesn't make sense, especially because the other categories, everybody's original people. Why aren't blacks and African Americans original people? Sounds like some 3/4 of a person slavery, Uncle Bill, Tom, whatever his name is, not Uncle Tom, Willie Lynch. That's what it sounds like to me. So a lot of us read this book called The Prince, and we would rather have our enemy fear us. That hood mentality, right? There's another part of the book that says, I'd rather have slaves that are unbeknown that they're slaves, but still willing to follow along with the program. They will help you enslave themselves and others. Because when the real ones stand up and start to achieve, they will tell. They will get scared. They will, because their comfort is now being messed with. Yeah. That's where we're at in this world. But if you call yourself Black African American, I'm going to tell you right now, we Moors are not the problem. That's not the problem. We're not coming to enslave you, anybody. That's not in our doctrine. None of us talk about it. None of us deal with it. Any of us in right mind, if we did hear something like that, no. We don't operate in that manner. We're not enslaving anybody. We don't know slavery. We don't want to be enslaved. We're not enslaving. So I don't know where you got that from. However, I'm going to say this again. In law, that Black and African American, it's a concept made up in someone else's mind, and they own it. They own that Black and African American in their system through their mind. That's why they're not original people, because they own them. And so when you use that term, you admit to being owned. So when the owner comes for his property, me standing up against that, they can't take my property from me. Well, brother, now you saying that we their property. I'm trying to tell you law. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. This is law. I'm wondering how this got through so long with so-called Black African American governors, senators, president. And y'all didn't get that message. We didn't get that message. Nobody who told us. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. When? 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago. Early 1900s. Before you want to talk about Nation of Islam and all the big churches and stuff. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Walking, talking, writing, putting it down, educating, study yourself. I self-law and master. Yeah. I govern myself. We're not against Blacks and African Americans. We can't defend Blacks, and it hurts. It hurts when we know law. We're studying law. We know, we see the law. It's the law, especially because if you got arrested, you say the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution, you Fifth Amendment, this, that. Oh, really? You're pleading that? You have your own Constitution. You have your own bylaws. You have your own preamble. You have your own. You have all these things you have of your own to not state those things. If you was messing with the law, you have all of your own stuff like that. But they don't want us to know. It was hidden from us for a long time. And a lot of people played along with it. And I'm not saying everybody. There are good people and bad people in everything. But a lot of people did play along with it, and a lot who look like us played along with it. In particulars, I don't know. If you give some, let's say a famous person, whoever you want to give it to, if you give them that census and they tell you, well, I don't see anything wrong with that, I say potentially you're sitting in front of somebody who either doesn't care, doesn't know, or they've already been told to act like it doesn't mean anything. And that's what they're doing. They're diminishing the value of what that document means in the world. They're diminishing the understanding to you as an individual for your family. They're diminishing what it actually means. Don't take that from nobody. Don't allow yourself. I'm telling you, read, study, go get it. Look online. 1828. Webster's Online Dictionary, 1828. Take a look at that. Look up the word American and see what an American is, and then what it changed into. Look and see what an American is, and then what it changed into. Copper tone, copper tone, copper tone. I'm not talking about Duracell batteries either. Well, I am walking, talking, living, breathing Duracell batteries because we are energy, right? Yeah. So I'm on my Facebook page all over the place. I'm gonna post. I'll put it in a short. I'm gonna post conference call app and the call in ID number and all of that. I'll post that. And on Mondays, you can call in any questions. The president will be present. And Wednesdays is Mondays is an open forum. On Wednesdays, it'll be more like a class. People, if you want, I'm telling you, you need to. Oh my goodness! So you got the Democrats and Republicans, right? They're both in the United States government, and they both they have issues with each other in order to make the government work, right? Well, we're Moors. In order to make the government work, you got people who think this way and people who think that way, and then we got to work. It is so exciting. It is so much fun, especially because the things we're talking about are not the things that are being talked about. They're the things we're talking about. We have a separate politic in the mind. We have a separate politic, especially at this table, at our table. We're original people. We go back all the way from the beginning to when our people were putting together systems in order for all of us to live together in our many various different ways. We go all the way back to the bloodlines. And I'm not saying this out of bragging. I did not make up the name El Yah. I took it apart and separated it. But I didn't give myself an El Yah. That came from my mother. That came when I had an umbilical cord. El Yah was attached to my name as Mick El Yah. It was attached. So all I did was, because I was known as Sharif, all I did was take separate took the Mac off and separate the El Yah. That's my family name. My daddy got that name. I got cousins with that name. Family. And the brother said, listen to your name in order to find out who you are. What? And we run around here switching it, losing us, giving ourselves away to other people with their names. Because every nation is known by its name, right? If I say Wong, where you think he's from? Where you think he's from? If I said Fredericks, where you think he's from? If I said Finkelstein, where you think he's from? Bergershram, where you think he's from? I can't even think of a French name right now to throw up in there. Nationalities. Tell their name. El, Bay, Al, Yah tells our original family names. Original. And then where you find these names? Where do you find these appellations in the equivalents to them all? Right in the holy books, in the scriptures, they talk about our families. All of our families. And so is it so wrong for us to want to be our families, to be the families we were cut off from? You was robbed of your name, robbed of your language. You loved your religion, your culture, your God. Ain't that what he said? And our ancestors were not. If they were black, it meant that they didn't feel good. Their heart was heavy. They was in sorrow. They was in pain. They was black. They couldn't get ahead at the moment. Whatever, they was having pressure, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and a whole bunch. That was black. That was black back in the day. I'm feeling black today. Or you got a headache and you're sweating. Okay, go lay down. You're feeling black today. That's what it was. That's why everything about black denotes something being bad. That's why. Oh, we always go back in history when we start talking about it. Fair. If you got arrested today, you would use that's because we still use it, but it comes from back in history. It comes from back in history. So how come we don't use what's from us back in history today? Because we were cut off from it. And nobody wants to believe that this is what it was. This is what it was. You can do the research yourself. And outside of the Moorish science, I gave you two places, UBTV and 432 Drop Nation will repeat to you the things that I said. And so, and I'm going to say this about that too. They're going to repeat it and they're going to try to show like dirty Moors. I'm the one who's going to say we was all dirty. Israelites, Moors, Christians, pagans, whatever you want to call us. We was all dirty. Everybody did dirt. So calling out the dirt today is like no good. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he told us to be a pure and clean nation. We want to be pure and clean. We have to separate our days and our ways from those days. How we separate them. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's what we're standing for. We're not about the rah-rah and the war and all of that. We know every man can control himself to the point where he is not a threat to his community. We know the government can care for people better than what they care for them. We know this. We know this. And this is what we are putting into effect. Nothing else that I see that I will allow myself to be a part of will be anything less than that, except for all divine beings to rise up and be better than they are and to have a better situation than they are. And right now at USAR, it seems as though we can do this. And the people around who are talking about it, the people who can be about it, you. Why not? Why not? And guess what? We're doing it peacefully and lawfully. They ain't gonna let no black people do nothing. I told you we ain't black. We are not black. We're not African American. And we're respected and known in law. And I don't mean we as in Moors, just like this. I do mean you are a Moor. And when you identify yourself, you're going to see the world respects that you. The world respects you. When you know who you are, the world respects you. Oh, you're a Mason. I am my son. I just told you this is my umbilical cord. I am my son. If you have to pronounce it Mason, okay. But please, what you think of a Mason, don't put that with me. Don't put that with us. We are not Masons. We are my sons. We are sons of our mothers. That's what we are. New day, new way. Each man is accountable, responsible for his own. And the only way we're going to truly know, my people, y'all got to read, man. We got to read. I got more reading to do. We got to read. In 1 month, I learned how to make software apps in 1 month by myself, listening to other people, but I did it in 1 month. If I could do that, come on, man. Come on, man. If I could do it, especially you, 25, 26. I'm going to tell you right now, you're 25, 26, right? I don't know what your favorite snack is, what you like to have around. But if you can get a good weekend for yourself and whatever it is you want to know between Google and YouTube, in 1 weekend, sit in a room with some snacks, your music, your drink, whatever, and get ready to learn whatever it is. You come out Monday morning with a whole new perspective from Friday night to Sunday to Sunday night. All you do is pick a new subject and dig. Keep looking up that subject. Keep looking at the various ways. Look at what else it relates to and things of that nature. You're gonna open up your eye. And listen, I learned particular things. One day I wanted to write this story. It had to do with time. Well, I started reading about time. And next thing I know, I was reading about gods and this, that, and I was looking up time as in the clock. And it took me into the heavens and started talking about the sine wave that we're all born into. When we're in heaven, we don't know. But when we come to the earth, we enter the sine wave. And now we could tell time. Sine, sin, sine, sin. Our people. I don't know what we running from. There's more to everything than we've been told. We have more power than we think. The question is, how are we going to execute it? Because if things stay the way they are now, it looks like whatever happens, and then we'll have a whole bunch of people running around from different communities trying to rob people in other communities. It's going to be like that anyways. No, it's not. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we Moors ain't coming with the rah-rah. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. We just have to have responsibility and accountability. That's it. Anything else, anything less than that is less than that. Anything less than that is less than that. And there's no way, no two ways to split it or go about it. Anything less than that is less than that. Nah. Because the people who would do that is me and you. And I'm not, I didn't sign on for that. I didn't sign on for none of that. I didn't sign on for, listen, I don't care what anybody say. Can't nobody say I was a part of any gang wars, fighting, shooting, killing any of my people, plotting, planning, trying to destroy. Nobody can put me with anything like that. Nobody. Throughout, I was 15 in 1980. I'm 56 now. Nobody can put me with plotting and planning anybody, anywhere to say I did anything to anybody, brought anybody like that any harm. Not my style. I like family, and I want my mom around me and my sisters. You can't hurt them. My little brothers, you can't just run up because I did something. No. That children, no. What? Nobody can say I was a part of anything of hurting anybody at any time. It's going to remain that way because I know Allah. People, I say Islam to you. I say we got to change our ways. I say we have a government And everyone is invited to come check it out, be a part of it, Ray, understand it. But you really have, the more science, the officials and things like that, you can be a citizen, but the more science, officials. This is how we moving. This is what's going to get us to the next level. And the officials of the government need to be able to speak the language that it takes to be free in order to have a system for free. And the science is more science. I didn't make this up. I did not make this up. Love you. Islam. It's a new day. Islam. Well, I tried to. Oh, there it is. Islam.